5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And alright guys, welcome to episode 4 of the Edutainment Corner. This is a podcast about all the things that are going around, that are going on in the world from your average teenager's perspective. I'm Nicolas Combe, and here with me again is Wayne and Nicolas. How are you, man?
I'm doing alright.
Alright,
Not
nice.
not the best, just kind of average.
Hey, average is better than bad.
Yep.
So, I was reading the show notes and I forgot that we put it as Wane in there. So I almost said Wane Lindquist instead of Wayne.
Yeah, man. Just man.
Yep.
Wane Lindquist.
Yep. So how have you been, man?
I've just been doing my thing. Haven't really done anything special the last 2 weeks, except for I was talking about March Madness. And I want to correct myself.
All right.
From last week, because I thought that it was going to start by the time of next week, but it's actually going to start around spring break for us, actually.
Okay. Is that in?
Soon. It's going to be going on around spring break, like the main stuff going on. And I would say, what are you going to say?
I was going to say, when is spring break for us? Is that in 2 weeks now?
Yeah, it starts on the 29th.
Oh, okay, sure. Sweet. So, yeah, about 2 weeks.
It's like the end of the March.
Yep. Neat.
And yeah, so it doesn't start, but most of the teams have been selected.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
The tournament bracket wise.
That's exciting.
And do you have a team that should be looking on the lookout for is OSU, Oklahoma State University.
Okay. Do you have a specific team you're like rooting for?
Oh man, I root for Wisconsin. They lost. They lost to Oh, I cut out? My bad.
Yep, sorry, a little bit.
Yeah, I root for Wisconsin. I root for any college sport. I root for Wisconsin.
Nice.
But we lost in our tournament.
Why Wisconsin?
Why Wisconsin? Because a lot of my family is from there.
That's great, man. That's awesome. So you're from Wisconsin. Have you ever been there?
Oh man, we're there. Well, we were there. It hasn't. We were gonna go up to go see the Milwaukee Bucks basketball team and a baseball game, and it was gonna be so cool because my dad's favorite basketball team is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
My bad for the stutter, but and my favorite basketball team is the Toronto Raptors, and they were playing that weekend that we're gonna go up as well, and the baseball game was the Milwaukee Brewers which is my dad's favorite team, versus the Cubs, which is my favorite team. And it was so like our two teams are facing each other in the same weekend, in the same place, basically.
That's pretty cool though. I hear you like the Cubs and you like the Bucks.
No, I don't like the Bucks.
No, sorry, not the Bucks. You like the Cubs and the Raptors. My bad.
Yeah. Very diverse
does this
fan
have
base.
Anything to do with them being like winning and a couple of years ago?
Okay, so the Cubs won the World Series in 2016.
Yeah.
Which is when I got into baseball.
Okay. And
the whole thing with my family is that half of our family is Cub fans and half of our family are Brewer fans.
Oh, I see.
And you know, my brother was a Cub fan. He still is.
Yeah.
And my dad is a Brewers fan, like a really huge Brewers fan. And my dad and my grandpa went to pretty much any Brewer game that they could see, since they were like an organization, because I'm pretty sure they became an organization in 1970. I want to say 1971.
Okay.
Let me actually look at that. I think it's 1971.
Yeah. That's super cool, dude.
Yeah, they just went to a bunch of games. 1969.
Oh, that's I think the year my dad was born.
Yeah, my dad. I don't want to go into. My dad's old.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Alright, that's pretty cool, man. Over the past 2 weeks, I have been continuing the push-ups. Remember I said that I was going to...
Oh, the 200 push-ups?
Yep. and I actually have not missed a single day, and I'm really happy about that.
Wow.
I'm proud
I'm
of
proud of you, man.
it got really hard like during the 6th day, which is surprising, but I was like not expecting it. It got like progressively harder, but after about the 7th day it started getting easier and easier, and now it's just like
Yeah.
a thing I do.
That's the whole thing. Is that it's gonna be it's gonna be super hard getting into it, but once you get into it, it's gonna be so easy.
Yeah.
And speaking on 200-day push-up, just exercise wise, my friend, Ethan, he was on the podcast. I think I said this last episode,
You're gonna start,
but
you're gonna start working out.
yeah, man, I'm gonna start working out. And Ethan just got a membership the day that we're recording this, which is the I want to say the 13th.
Yep.
Oh, I have a topic that I want to talk about that. The 13th. I'm rambling, but 13th. This has been exactly a year since the school year was canceled for Corona.
Oh yeah.
I remember. You remember that we all thought it was gonna be 2 weeks. Like an extra spring break before spring break, right?
Yep, I remember that.
And then Corona hit, and we didn't go back. And that's the last time I saw you. It was March 13th.
Like in person, man.
Yep.
That was exactly a year ago. That's crazy.
Yep, haven't seen you in a year, man.
Man.
That's crazy. But that was a little side story.
No, it's cool. That's what this podcast is for, just having fun. I mean,
yeah, man.
So let's see, what else have I been up to this week? So I started learning Arabic on Duolingo as a joke, and by this point I've completed like 6 lessons, and I know pretty much the entire alphabet. It's just like
I remember
words yet, but it's just kind of funny. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually know the alphabet.
My bad for a little mic. But I remember like 8th grade, I did Duolingo. When people started making memes about it and stuff. I think it was 2018.
What language did you learn?
It was Spanish and Russian.
Oh, neat. So you did 2 languages.
Yeah, but I did a lot more of the Spanish.
But I mean, I feel like you're gonna use Spanish more often.
Oh yeah, no, I'm taking Spanish right now in high school. Taking Spanish too.
Did the Duolingo actually help at all?
Okay, Spanish 1. The difference between my teachers is the really big difference.
Oh yeah.
Because Spanish 1, my teacher was super strict. I don't know. I can't really say his name, but
yeah.
I know. I hope you know Mr. C.
Yep.
That guy, big beard.
Yep.
That guy, yeah. Had that guy. He made us do 60 note cards a week, and it was so stressful. I hated that class.
Yeah.
But I ended up passing with I think it was a B.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then Spanish 2, Mr. T, he's the complete opposite. He's super laid back. And the thing is that I'm not doing so well in that class. And so I think if I'm stricter, if the teacher's stricter, I'm gonna do better in class. But I don't know. That may just be me.
That's actually interesting. I feel like just the possibility is when you have nobody keeping you accountable necessarily.
Yeah.
Then you can just kind of procrastinate and then be like, oh, just kind of turn things in sort of shoddily, and you get by, and it doesn't really matter. I've noticed that exact same thing. I think actually because of that, my teacher wasn't as strict. My French teacher last year wasn't as strict as yours was last year. But
my Spanish teacher,
this year it's been so much more laid back, and it's a lot. It feels more chaotic.
Yeah, it feels harder for some reason. It's I know freshman me could have gotten this work done, but sophomore me just doesn't want to do it.
Man.
I'm in I don't know, you know what a sophomore slump?
Yep.
I'm in a sophomore slump right now. I'm not doing so hot, to be honest with you.
Felt that.
Yep. So, I heard you bought a book.
I did. I bought a book a couple of days ago called Atomic Habits, and it just came tonight, and I'm really psyched to read it. And I mean,
Is there like a summary of what you could, or do you know what the book's about?
Yeah, so it's there's a guy who spent his life kind of learning about habits, and he's been you know, the idea of the book is that, you do little things every day that seem to have no difference. But if you improve 1% every single day for a year, that's going to be a 365% increase from your original starting point. Whereas if you have a 1% decrease every day, after a year, you're going to be much closer to zero than you would possibly be. So the whole book talks about, developing habits and getting rid of bad habits so you can over time just increase yourself. And there's plenty of examples through it, and I've just started reading it, but I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks I'm going to have it. I'm going to be a good portion of the way through, and I'll be able to talk about it a bit more, I hope.
Yeah, do you know how many pages are in the book? Is it a long book?
I thought it was a pretty short book, but then it came in the Amazon package, and I think it's like 300 pages long, which is pretty.
Yeesh. So yeah, I feel like I'd probably get a kick out of reading that book.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of bad habits.
I honestly, I'll lend it to you if you.
It's I mean, yeah, sure. Like yeah, a lot of the bad habits stem from my ADHD.
Yeah.
And like, for example, like biting my nails. I have always bitten my nails.
I have too. That's crazy.
And it's really bad.
Yeah.
And I bought a book.
Oh, go ahead.
Wait, what?
Oh, I was gonna say, you know how you have the little skin on the side of your fingernails? I bite that too.
Oh yeah, man. Like my fingers messed up.
Yeah.
Like my fingers are always looking kind of rough.
Yep. So go ahead. Sorry, you were about to say something.
I bought a book too.
Oh, you did? What'd you buy?
Yeah, Communist Manifesto.
Oh, you actually did?
Yeah, I actually bought the book, and I've been reading it, and it's...
That's
I'm gonna be real with you. Part of it's making sense, part of it's not.
Okay.
But that's the whole thing. You gotta read the whole thing to be able to fully grasp it, the whole concept of it.
Once we're both done reading our own books, let's swap.
Yeah, man, for sure.
For sure. I mean, like, I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, your book. Yeah, your book's gonna take longer to read, but
I'm a pretty quick reader though, so.
Yeah, I used to read books all the time.
Me too.
What happened?
Since I moved, I haven't read books anything close to as much.
Yeah, man, I haven't voluntarily. Well, no, that's a lie. I haven't voluntarily read since like 6th grade.
Yeah.
It's been bad, man. I remember the last book that I read was an autobiography of Donald Driver.
Who's that?
Which he's a retired football receiver that played for the Packers.
Oh man, okay.
And his upbringing, he went from selling crack as a 9-year-old to being paid millions and millions of dollars a year.
Man.
Proves that anything is possible.
Yeah. All right, man. I am excited to get into the first thing of this podcast, though. We have.
Ooh.
You've prepared 8 Would You Rathers for us to do. This is the first podcast game that we've actually done so far, and this is exciting.
Yep. Okay, do you want me to start with the first one?
Yeah, let's go ahead. I'm excited to get into it. So you'll read the Would You Rathers, and then I'll give my answer.
And I'll give my answer.
Yep. Sweet, and we'll discuss.
We'll discuss about it after. Okay.
All right, go ahead and start with the first one.
Okay, so the first one, the world is ending.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
Do you save yourself while everybody else dies?
Okay.
Or would you sacrifice yourself for the people, but you'd be forgotten to the point nobody even knows you existed?
Oh, yeah. This is interesting. Let's say I have to sacrifice myself, right? Does that mean I have to kill myself?
It's like a situation where if you die, you save humanity.
Yeah, but I mean, as in, do I need to kill myself, or is somebody else gonna, take care of that for me, or if I just, choose it, I'll kind of, vanish?
I think it'll be you have to kill yourself.
Oh, yikes. Okay. That makes it
But
hard to choose that then.
yeah.
I have to say, I think, contrary to what my family may believe, I actually care about some people in this world.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And I wouldn't want to be alive by myself, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd have no one to share anything with.
Definitely. Dude, I feel the same way. I feel like I'd say to myself because I don't really care if anybody remembers me because, I'm going to be dead.
Yeah.
First of all, there's no point in somebody remembering you if you're dead.
Now, does that
'Cause
mean
you don't-
your entire family forgets that you ever lived?
It's such a broad question,
Yeah.
but honest, I'd say yeah. I say everybody
Yeah.
forgets you even existed.
That's hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd sacrifice myself just so that the world could keep going.
Yep. I want the world to keep going as well.
Yep. All right, let's get into number 2. And keep in
All
mind,
right.
you create the rules, dude. So if I have any questions, feel free to do
All
whatever
right.
you want, whatever you think is the best.
I like this one. Would you rather forget everything you've learned or never be able to learn anything new again?
So in my entire life, would I rather forget everything I've learned? I think I'd rather forget everything I've ever learned than just live through life never being able to learn anything again. I would rather forget everything I've learned.
Yeah. This one, whenever I came up with this one, this was just, I could not choose an answer, but I have decided that I would go with the same one as you.
Mm-hmm.
And my reasoning behind it, it only take me
16 years to get back to
16 years of my life to get where I am.
Mm-hmm.
And then by that time, I can learn so many more new things.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'll be easier to learn things since we're in the future.
Yep.
And, I feel like, to be honest with you, it wouldn't take 16 years. Because
Yep.
it would probably take less than 16 years.
Yeah. I'm curious if forgetting everything you know would change your personality. And if
it definitely
by
would.
relearning
It definitely
everything,
would.
it would be a very different person after relearning everything than like in a new situation, in a new environment than you are.
I mean, almost anything can change your person. Like having a name, like just so simple as changing your name, could change your entire personality when you were born.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking, people seem like their name. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've asked this question to a lot of people.
Okay.
Have your parents were there any like second names that you could have been named?
Yes. My parents actually, at least this is the story they've always told me. I don't know if this is true. They might have named me, I think Vincent was another one.
Ooh, I like that name.
And I think the other one was Cedric.
Cedric. I like Cedric too. I like those names.
I do too, actually. And I think, my parents actually, my mom's always told me that when I was born, they gave like each name to me, and I smiled when she said Nicola. So she named me Nicola, or my parents named me.
Oh. I was gonna be named Matthew.
Matthew.
Yeah, Matt.
Oh, that's cool.
And I could not think of myself being named Matthew.
Really? It's interesting, because I can imagine myself being named Cedric, but I can't imagine myself being named Vincent.
Yeah. I think if I was... Did you have any names if you were...
A girl?
That your parents... Yeah, because I remember my parents said something about me being...
Oh, you should ask them. I
think it was like Madison?
I think for me it was like Angelina or something.
Yeah.
And then my brother Remy was going to be Remy no matter what. Because he works as both a guy name and a girl name.
Yeah, that makes sense. You two look so much alike. It's weird.
It's funny because I think we look nothing alike, but that's kind of how siblings always go.
Yeah, you guys always think you guys don't look alike. I look almost if I was skinnier, I'd be literally almost exactly like my brother was when he was 16.
So your brother's older than you?
Yeah, my brother. If you could do the math, I don't want to give out his age.
Okay.
But like, he's actually, you know what? He's turning 40 next year, so he's pretty old, man. He was like 20 something, early 20s whenever I was.
Okay.
So
that makes sense. Dang.
Pretty old. Same with my sister. My sister and my brother are both older than me and have their own, like, they have their own families. I could be a great uncle. Whoa. If one of my nieces or my nephews had a kid at 18, I'd be a great uncle at 17.
Man.
Yep. Really weird.
My great uncle is almost, he's like 80 or 90 or something. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? My bad. You wanna go to the next one?
Sure, let's go ahead.
Alright. Yeah, we kinda rambled with that one. Would you rather gain 5 pounds of pure muscle every year without working out?
Okay. Or
gain 2 inches of height every year, but you can't stop the growth of either of them?
Alright, so I'm just gonna let the listeners know. I did hear all of these would you rathers beforehand so I could prepare my answers for them. And I did some of the math of this. And I figured out that in about 18 years, it takes you about 18 years, because let me rephrase that. I think you will grow 2 inches every year, right? For the height one. That means you grow about 6 inches, so half a foot every 6 years, which means you will grow 3 feet in 18 years. So let's say just, roughly like 3 feet every 20 years, right? If I'm about 5'10", 5'11", let's just say I'm like 6 foot, right? I'm gonna double my height. In 20 years I will be about 8 feet tall, because that's 1.5. Oh crap! I had all the math, but it's harder to
think about.
Imagine it. Yeah. So yeah, let's say I'm about 6 feet now. In if I add 2 feet, then I'll be. I did the math, and basically I'll double my height in about 40 years. So 12 feet tall is, I think the maximum you could probably grow before you actually die.
Oh, actually, I think it's like 8 or 9.
Oh, only actually. 8 or 9, man. Okay, but still, that's like 20 years further from now. So I'd go with that, because I think getting muscles and muscles and muscles would not be.
Oh man, dude, I think that would be. I am the complete opposite, man. 5 pounds of pure muscle every year.
Really?
I could be by the time I am like 20?
Uh-huh.
I'd have 20 pounds of muscle on me, man.
That's true. Yeah.
Like I would be a Hulk. I'd be
20 pounds
be
of muscle.
A lunk, man.
And then after you do another 20 times 5, what happens when you gain another 100 pounds of pure muscle?
Man, I could compete for the strongman,
Yeah, you'd probably make the strongman by the time you're 30.
Yeah, man, that'd be insane.
But I mean, at what point do you have to obtain so many more calories than you could like possibly eat in a day? I'm curious, like how much muscle.
Well, the question or the thing is that it's without working out, so you don't really have to do anything.
But you just like, get you're that resting 5 metabolism, pounds, right? Like, what would you be doing? Sleeping and eating all day?
No, I don't think I'd be. I think I'd be eating very little. I'd use it like I'd be working out.
Okay.
But I would use it as like an incentive.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to get to this weight so that whenever my 5 pounds come, I'll be satisfied. Okay.
I mean, I just imagine the people, those people who take like too many like steroids and inject stuff into.
Oh, and they have like super huge shoulders.
Like that's kind of what I pictured when I read that.
Nah, I'd be like more bodybuilder.
Okay. So yeah, then that's fair. Let's move on to number 4.
Oh, number 4. We could talk about this for a long time.
Oh, for sure.
Would you rather win the U.S. election or the Olympics in any sport? Any sport in the Olympics.
Yeah. I think your answer is going to be very different than mine, but I
Yeah.
think I would want to win the U.S. election.
Mm.
What about you?
I actually have a reasoning why I'd pick Olympics
Okay.
and why I would not pick the election.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
So why I wouldn't pick the election is, just because you become president does not mean that you won't be corrupt, you won't know how to run, right?
Yeah.
But if you win an Olympic medal, it's not like you're gonna be like, oh man, medal,
That's true.
and it's like, how did he get that? Like you're gonna have an Olympic medal. You're gonna be remembered. Like I do.
Uh oh, you're
We're
cutting out.
in running.
You're cutting out.
Um,
Sorry, folks. We had a little bit of an issue there. We're just gonna go ahead and edit that out. So Wayne, go back to what you were saying. Why would you choose the Olympic medal over the president?
If I sound further away, just know I'm leaning back in my chair.
Alrighty.
First of
Make
all,
sure you don't cut out again.
Yeah, I hope I don't cut out.
Sweet.
I wouldn't choose the U.S. election because even though if you win the U.S. election, it's not like you're guaranteed you're not going to be corrupt. You're not going to know how to run.
Yeah.
But if you win an Olympics, it's like nobody's going to question. You want a medal, and I'd pick the Olympics in running because you'd beat Usain Bolt's.
Mm-hmm.
Or you wouldn't beat his record, but you get a gold medal and you'd be compared to him. And I would gladly be compared to Usain Bolt than a corrupt president.
That's true. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a bad president either.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could be a good president, but there's a very high chance that you won't know how to run.
That's true. I'd like to think that I'd be able to learn and ask people for advice though. And I don't think I would be a horrible. Maybe I probably would. I probably am just thinking, that I'd be good because I want to just think good about myself.
Yeah.
But I don't.
We all do.
Think I would be a bad president. I think I would just be like an average president.
True. Well, yeah. What is the most average president you can think of?
Probably the one we can't think of. I don't have all the presidents memorized. But whoever I can't
Zachary Taylor.
That was an actual president.
12th president of the United States.
There you go.
I know that. I used to learn everything about presidents in elementary school. I was a big presidents guy.
Man, I feel weird because I feel like you should know the presidents, but I don't know the presidents, and that's
a big thing. Nobody knows any presidents past the Clintons and Bushes.
Yeah.
They don't know about James Monroe or Zachary Taylor. Or
yeah.
James Buchanan.
That's crazy. That's probably something I'm hoping I'm going to learn next year when I learn more about U.S. history.
Oh yeah, no, you're definitely going to learn about the president. So you're probably going to have to name them all.
Yeah. It's interesting because I know a lot about history. I could tell you pretty much I'm not every major event, but I love world history, and I could tell you a lot about it since maybe the Renaissance to the modern era, but I don't know many of the facts necessarily who's. I know the worlds and the time, the dates, but I don't necessarily know all the who's. It's interesting.
All right. What I want to learn?
What?
I want to learn anywhere from medieval times to about the 1900s of Africa. I want to learn African history from the medieval times to there. What were they doing during the medieval time?
When was the guy you talked about in episode 1, the richest
Mansa
guy?
Musa?
Yeah, when was he?
Wasn't it? He was born in the 1300s.
Okay.
That was in Egypt. As well.
So that technically counts as the Middle Ages, or right before the Renaissance, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
cool. Yeah, I guess that's a big part. But other than that, I want to learn a lot more about that.
Yeah.
All right. Whoa.
Now that's a cool tangent.
Yep. All right, number 5.
I like this one because I came up with it. It's the only one I came up with, but I like
All
it.
right. Would you rather have a beard that grows 10 feet a day, or head hair, like the hair on your head, that never grows? And let's just say you start out bald, so you're always gonna be bald.
Yep.
So would you rather be bald or have a beard that grows 10 feet a day?
And hair that grows normally. And if you're bald, you have a beard that grows normally.
Yeah.
I was this one. I have to say, I was thinking about my answer to this, and I had some ideas going through my head. I was thinking, if my beard grows 10 feet a day, how many times would I need to cut that? Like a day. Probably I would say like 3 times a day. It grows 3 feet, and then you need to like cut it off.
Yeah.
And then that's
Like
you'd probably cut it
time
when you wake up. You'd cut it
by the
after
time
lunch,
you wake up.
and then
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, like, you'd have to cut it, but like probably during lunchtime, like every day, and that would be. Imagine just like walking over to the trash can, pulling out your scissors, cutting off your beard, and then dropping your beard in the trash can, and then going back to work.
I was gonna say, by the time you get up to the time you get breakfast, you can have a full-grown beard.
Hey, that's cool. Like, imagine the fibers. Like, think about, you could make a shirt out of that.
Yeah, but that'd be kind of weird making a shirt out of your beard.
I didn't say it wouldn't be weird. I just said it'd be like, you could. If you wanted to.
I think I'd be contrarian and go against that, and I say I'd rather have no head hair, be bald.
No head hair ever.
Because I feel like it'd be easier to maintain, man.
That is true.
Because, like, I wouldn't want to cut my hair every 3 hours.
I feel like it'd be kind of cool. It's just like you brush your teeth twice a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. All right. Number 6. I like this one.
Okay.
Would you rather have the power of healing people with pain? And the thing about it is that the same pain that person is dealing with gets afflicted on you.
Okay.
So, like, let's say you heal somebody with a broken leg. You're going to have a broken leg.
Yep.
If you heal them. Or you heal animals without pain. And I think we both have the same answer for this one.
We both thought that it'd be better to heal animals without pain.
Yep, because honestly, the first option is just not.
Yeah.
What's the point?
And I mean, the way I see it is this is like a magical power, right? Which means you could probably do things like regrow elephant tusks and rhino horns.
Yep.
So it probably I would get it maybe if I could, I would go to like Africa or something, and I would like find these animals that have been hurt by poachers, and I would help them regrow their ivory.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd just be the right thing to do.
But I'm thinking about it now. Having the power of healing people, you could technically you could sacrifice yourself to bring back an important figure.
Oh yeah.
In life, like Abraham Lincoln.
Oh whoa! So it's like as in.
Basically, you sacrifice yourself.
You feel the pain that they have, right? And that heals whatever
meaning
injury
death.
they have. So you could go find Abraham Lincoln's grave. You could feel the pain that he got shot and die, and then you would die, and then he would come back.
Yeah.
Whoa. Now that.
But I'd still go with healing animals without pain. But it's just a cool thought to have.
Now, real quick, just imagine. Let's say you did that with Einstein, right?
Oh man.
And then you have
so
Einstein
cool.
and Elon Musk working together on all the projects they can imagine. Think about how fast technology would increase.
I feel like Einstein would have trouble keeping up.
You think so?
Technology, yeah.
That's true. Maybe he's getting old and Grandpa can't use his iPhone.
Ooh, would you think that if you brought him back, he would get back to the age, or if you brought him back, he'd be healed to the age that you are, so it'd be 16-year-old Einstein?
I feel like you would age the years that he aged for yourself. So he would come back to whatever you were when you did it, and you're taking all the years off of him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just you could go so many ways with that one.
Does that mean old age counts as a disease or an injury?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as a cause of, if I'd classify it as death. That'd be the injury, not just not how you die, but just dying.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Cool.
Okay. I like the next one as well.
Yep.
Which version of Minecraft is better? I mean, honestly, this is not really a would you rather, but
it's still a question.
Yeah.
And there's no question about it. Java. I mean.
Oh, I didn't say it, but
sorry.
You know, which
Java or Bedrock, right?
Yeah, Java or Bedrock edition of Minecraft. And I bet you people that don't play Minecraft have no idea what we're going to be talking about, and I'm sorry.
So it's just two slightly different versions. One of them's for the mobile devices, and one of them's for the PC. And
mobile devices and consoles.
Switch and consoles, yeah. The thing is, so Java is obviously better, right?
Yes.
So Java is obviously
it is.
But Bedrock has a lot of sentimental value to people. I feel like. Is that how it is for you?
I'm picking Bedrock over Java because I grew up playing Bedrock with my friends. Java, it feels so, even though they're just different versions of the game, they feel so much different.
Oh, really?
They feel so different. I'll be getting on PC Minecraft and it will feel like a completely different game.
No, actually that's true. I see what you mean by that.
All the controls.
It almost looks different. Like the inventory. And things like that. But so there are definite I guess differences in the version that makes it clear. It's the same game, obviously.
Yeah.
But just little mechanics are different. That's true.
Yeah. So you pick Java, I pick Bedrock.
Yep.
That brings us to the
eighth.
It brings us. Yep. Would you rather go without shampoo for the rest of your life, or toothpaste for the rest of your life?
I would rather go without shampoo.
I was thinking the same thing. But elaborate on your answer.
Yes. The way I see it is I can rinse my hair when I take a shower.
Yep.
And be like, cool, I rinsed my hair thoroughly. But I can't just rinse my teeth and be done.
Exactly.
That's not how it works. You have to actually scrub your teeth with a toothbrush and get some sort of soap in there. And that's what toothpaste is. It's like tooth soap.
Yeah. I was gonna say I'd rather go without shampoo as well. But I was thinking, isn't that how people, I really do not know if this is true or not, but isn't that how people maintain dreads?
I think they just do that without washing their hair.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference. You can still rinse your hair, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I'd like to have a minty fresh taste in my mouth, whereas my hair doesn't need to smell clean necessarily. Your hair will
this
smell
is
everything, I guess, if you rinse it.
Yeah, smelly hair or smelly breath.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. Worst case, what if you just went bald? So you don't even need to worry.
Sure, you don't even need to worry about it.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's you can't just get rid of your teeth.
Yeah, true. Well, you could technically get dentures, but you have to keep the dentures clean.
But that's
and you can't brush
with toothpaste. Do you need?
Oh yeah, you could just run them underwater.
So how?
Sure. So either way, you can just do either. It's just basically a choice of preference.
Yeah, and I would. It feels weird because I don't want to be unhygienic, but I would choose shampoo. I would rather I would rather go without shampoo.
There's been so many bald answers, being bald. I'd rather be bald than have a beard that grows 10 feet long.
Okay, one thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about my answer to that. What happens if you were to Like in real life, right? No, not in necessarily the would you rather, but what happens if you just cut off your hair and threw it on the ground? Like, is that littering? Because I looked it up and it's not littering. Like, there's no laws against it.
I think you can reuse hair.
Yeah, well, it's like hair is biodegradable, right?
Yeah, so it's not technically littering. I thought littering is just like, like trash.
Yeah.
Like hair isn't trash.
I mean, and also, what happens if you like shed? Like I don't know. I feel like maybe
Like a dog.
Yeah. What if you have some sort of horrible disease where like chunks of your hair just like start falling out? That's
I
the
think
same
that
as
is
like
a
cutting
disease.
off hair and just throwing it.
Yeah, true.
I'm not saying like you're a weirdo if you like start cutting off your hair like in the movie theater or something, but like
Yeah, it is. You just hear a razor. Just. Oh my God, he's cutting off his hair.
But yeah, I was just thinking about that. It's like, imagine just walking on the sidewalk, seeing someone take out scissors and cut off their beard, drop their beard on the floor, like on the sidewalk. That's not illegal, but it's like psychotic.
It's weird behavior. All right, so
Speaking of weird behavior, do you wanna talk about our next topic?
Oh man. Okay. So I think I'm actually gonna let you redo this one.
Oh, the slugs, okay, or the Which one do you want to go into? We actually have a couple of topics we can go into. I was gonna change the order a little bit, but it's up to you.
I think we should do Why Do Anything.
All right, that's good. Let's go into that. So,
all right,
our next topic is a bit more of a philosophical question, and it was something I was thinking about. It has to do kind of with the point of life. I mean, I guess the real question is like, why bother doing anything? And what kind of got me thinking about it is I read something that said that the drug heroin produces pleasure in your brain that's like 10 times more potent than any other sort of stimulation you could get from just real life. So, whether it's any sort of thing that makes you feel good in life, it's better than that. So I was wondering if that every single thing in your life is less exciting, less good, then why not just overdose on heroin on purpose and like live your entire life, or the entire rest of your life in like the perfect happiness, bliss that you could possibly have? I mean, it sounds wrong. It's like it's not.
It's unethical.
Yeah.
And morally wrong. It's like why the hell would you do that?
Yeah, and I mean, it almost feels like you would be living a worse life, but really you wouldn't be, because it's like if you want to live a happy life, then inject pleasure into your brain and die. Like that's the happiest life you could live, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you why you think that's wrong. Why you think that's not good?
I think I was gonna say it's there's so much other things that you can do to reach that, what you're talking about, bliss. I feel like that one short moment of bliss is just not going to be enough. You could have so much more.
Yeah.
Like buying a house for the first time,
Exactly.
Having kids, getting married. I mean, even such as little things as like getting a job.
Yeah. But my question, and this is like, the reason I thought about that is those all pale in comparison to something that feels better. And that's why things like heroin are so addicting, is because nothing in life is as good as it.
You're always chasing that first high.
Yeah.
After taking heroin. It's like that's why I think heroin addicts are just lost souls.
Yeah. I mean, if nothing ever can compare to how good you felt when you did a drug, then what's the point of the rest of your life? It's just something I was thinking about. And I came up with an idea that might be, why it feels wrong. Like, I wanted to think about, why it feels wrong to necessarily do something like that. And I think it's just a selfish thing to do. You think
it's selfish?
Yeah, I think overdosing on heroin on purpose and, like, living a happy, quotations, happy life, I think even though you would be happy, I don't think other people would be happy. I think your parents would be very sad.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
very disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And
that's the main thing of suicide as well.
exactly.
Is the only reason why you wouldn't do it is because you know that your mom or your dad would be, broken,
Exactly.
knowing that.
So I was thinking, it's morally wrong to hurt another person. So hurting another person for you to feel better does not necessarily make it okay.
Yeah, it's selfish. Yeah.
Yeah. And another thing I was just thinking about, that's not necessarily like the exact like cause and the exact moral dilemma of it, of what we were talking about. But I think humans have an innate survival instinct. So I think if you were to go into doing something like that, you would get cold feet after you did it. So you'd be like, you'd do everything you could to save yourself so you can keep surviving. I don't think as a human being it's naturally easy for most people to literally purposely kill themselves like that. I think you're gonna want to cling on to life if you're in that situation, and you're gonna find someone and tell them to call 911 because you've overdosed, even though if going into it you didn't think you were gonna do that.
That's understandable.
I don't know. It's just an interesting question. I was wondering, why that sounds wrong to do something like that.
Yeah, I think it's wrong.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, obviously, like you said, it's selfish.
And I think that's the reason.
Yeah, that's the reason why it's wrong. Because, if you're putting other people's lives in a dark place by doing that thing, it's not the best answer.
Yep.
So, our next topic, let's kind of get away from that whole...
Yeah.
That was kind of sad.
Yeah, exactly. But I know what you mean. Let's get away from the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, our next topic, which is pretty cool, in my opinion.
This was in the news this week.
Yes. And it involves a slug.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So, this week in the news, scientists have discovered that a certain species of sea slugs can literally decapitate themselves and regrow their body.
It's crazy.
Like literally hours after the attachment, the slug's head can go back, right back to eating algae.
Yeah.
And it takes like 20, I think it takes like 20 days for the slugs to completely regrow their body.
That's crazy. I mean, yeah, so we have a picture here. And it's like, it says day 0, day 7, day 14, day 22.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we can put the...
Yeah, we'll link all the articles
picture in the link
description.
in the bio.
I don't know if we can put the picture on the screen, unfortunately, because of copyright things. That's something we'll look into more in the future.
But we will put the link to it in the description.
For sure. But yeah, so we're looking at the picture right now. It's crazy. So this thing, literally detached its head, and it moved around perfectly fine. After 7 days, it's half the size of the original body, and then by 20 days, it's back to complete normal. It's crazy.
And tons of animals. You think animals like starfish and octopi.
Yeah.
Can regrow their limbs and certain limbs.
Yeah.
But this is the first creature or animal that we found that can regrow their entire body, body, not just a single limb or anything, but their entire body.
These things have organs and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, and they're like zombies.
Yeah.
Zombie slugs. I like that name.
Me too.
I'm gonna call them zombie slugs. But the interesting thing is that these dudes aren't like lizards, where they'll drop their tail to distract predators. But instead, it will take they can't detach themselves instantly. It could take these guys up to several hours to detach their body.
Okay. Yeah.
So it will take a super long time.
Yeah.
And one idea of it is that it might help to get rid of parasite.
Okay.
In fact, the only ones that did it were the ones that had like significant amount of parasitic copepods.
Yep.
It's like just parasites in them. Beforehand.
And that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, imagine like regrowing your body.
Yeah, it's like you'd never die.
Mm-hmm.
Unless somebody got out of your head, then obviously.
Yeah.
But, yep, some of these slugs were just able to simply lose pieces of their body.
Oh, so like not the whole body, just like little pieces. Dang.
Yeah. But the bodies never regrow new heads. Instead, they just shrivel and die.
Okay, that I mean that makes sense though. Like otherwise the body can't. I feel like the body can't survive without the head.
Yeah, I feel like the head is like if you like, isn't there like a quote? Like if you take out the head, you take out the body.
Yeah, because
like
I mean that's where your things. That's like where everything is stored. That's where you eat from. That's where you. So I guess if your body's not getting food, then you're gonna die. I remember that. Remember the along like there's this news article about like the headless chicken thing, who lived for.
Oh
like 2
yeah,
years.
they're like 15 minutes.
No, for like 2 years, like the headless chicken.
Oh.
And it's because they fed him food. Like they dropped like ground up food pellets down like with like eyedroppers and stuff. I remember I read a whole thing about it, and like they used an eyedropper to give it water and food, like down the windpipe or whatever.
That is
windpipe,
that
like,
is
down the top
that
of
is morbid.
And it literally kept living for 2 years, and people came like to see the actual shows. Now I don't know if that's 100% legit, but I'm pretty sure it is. I'm sure I can find a link and put that in the description whether or not it's true.
Yeah, we need to make note of that.
Yep, I will.
I'm gonna put notes of pudding links in bio.
Done.
Because last episode we had to watch the episode back so that we knew what to put in the bot or in the description.
Yep. Okay, so I just looked it up. Mike the Headless Chicken lived for 18 months after his head had been cut off.
That's so crazy, man. Can you imagine we did that with like a dog?
I thought you were gonna say, imagine if we did that to a person.
Oh no, not that. No, I'd rather bigger animals than go straight to humans.
Yeah.
Like, you know how they sent monkeys into space?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they did. That's crazy.
Yeah. Speaking about monkeys in space, you know another animal? You know one of my favorite movie series?
What?
Air Bud. No, didn't they send them to space?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Space Buds. Oh my god, I remember Space Buds so long ago. I love that movie. I love Space Buds so much.
Was it a true story?
Oh no.
Oh.
Definitely not. I think they've sent monkeys, and they've sent some
pigs.
Other small animal.
Pig, I think.
Yeah, I think they sent pigs. But I remember watching that movie on like a DVD player in like 2009.
Man, you were 5.
Yeah, that was crazy. I love that movie so much.
Mm-hmm.
If I could rewatch it, I would. I'm actually gonna see after we're done recording. I'm actually gonna see if I can find the movie.
Yeah. Oh, it's 11/11. Make a wish.
Oh, cool. You know, let's transition to the next topic.
Right, I would say the slugs are pretty cool, but
oh yeah, the zombie slugs, man.
Yep.
I wonder how much they cost.
Oh, I have no
idea. If you could buy one.
Yeah.
I'd want to get one.
It's just a sea slug, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of sea slug are they? I could find the article real quick, and we could go from there.
Wasn't it like a something marinata?
Yeah, let's find it. Alicia marginata. So we go ahead and look up this, and then this is
where they found. I feel like they'd be found in like the southern Pacific. Specific. Specific.
If you look up images for Alicia marginata, and I can put the like thing to look up in the description. You get some really cool Google images. These things are sea slugs. Like I think they're nudibranchs, which I think means they're related to coral. So they're literally
Oh,
not insects. They're not insects. They're not bugs. They're not vertebrates. They're not mollusks. They're like their own
they're
thing
like
that
almost
evolved.
plants almost.
Yeah, they're like coral, which is crazy.
Yeah, 'cause can't coral grow back?
Yeah.
So that's probably where it gets it from.
Oh, my bad. I'm really sorry. I actually thought they were corals, but nope. Apparently they're mollusks. My bad. I really apologize. I looked it up on Wikipedia.
That's alright, man.
I remember seeing that somewhere that they were corals. My bad. I'm sorry. I know jellyfish are corals though.
Speaking about Latin
Mhm.
and other Englishes, there's I'm gonna let you talk about this Spanish lady.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So there was in the news a I think it was last week, maybe 8 days ago. I don't remember. But they found a new grave in Spain from the Bronze Age, and there was about a 3,700-year-old lady buried in here, and they actually figured out that this lady was a queen, which means that
Like a ruler?
yeah, it's called La Almoloya, I think is what it is. And they said if the La Almoloya woman was a queen, the researchers can't say if she was a ceremonial leader or made actual rulings either on her own with the royal council. But she was buried in what is, commonly known as, or commonly like the same, very similar to other royalty, which is very which is very, very, very interesting. I mean, it's quite fascinating to think that men haven't always been the rulers in the long past. Like this is around Greece and Egypt.
Yeah, you like to think about, female rulers like Cleopatra.
Yeah.
There was never, I don't know if this is true or not, was there ever a leader, like a dynasty leader in China?
In
Back,
China, that was
like the Ming Dynasty.
Mhm.
Was there a female ruler
I
ever?
don't know.
Because I feel like there was, but, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Most likely there probably wasn't.
it's possible. I have
Because
no
in
idea.
their culture, I think it was like
It was less
house,
likely. I
yeah,
think.
their housewives and stuff,
Yeah.
misogynistic stuff.
hmm It's interesting though to think that our modern culture is not the only one with females in power.
Yeah,
Like generally when you think about old cultures, you think as leading men, but it's kind of cool to think that in the Bronze Age there was other countries, other city states with women as rulers. It's just really cool to think about.
I wish there was more female rulers. Isn't I forgot what country it is. I think it's New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
New Zealand, the whole COVID thing. You realize that she's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
This has nothing to do with her being a woman. I think
Yeah.
it's cool. The whole COVID thing.
Okay.
They handle COVID like
So well, right?
so well. Like
Yeah.
they got it. I'm pretty sure if I look at the charts of New Zealand,
Okay.
sorry if my typing's a
No,
little
it's
loud.
okay. I type loud too.
Let's see. Yeah, let me see if let's look at a chart, right?
Okay.
So this literally started March. I want to say like at around March, April, right?
Okay.
There was an average of like 70 people. This was the highest that they ever got.
Man.
Was 75 a day.
That's crazy.
Or 75 a week.
What?
It's 75 a day, 75 a week, and that is the highest. And
That's insane.
by literally by the end of April, or actually, yeah, by the end of April, they got it down to about 3.
Man.
And so, like, the pandemic for them was like down like a year. Like, it literally only lasted like a month.
Yeah. reverse, we're still,
we're in the thousands still.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like tens of.
It's insane, man.
Yeah.
Holy cow, though. Dude, we started this at 10:16. It's 11:18.
Oh. All right.
I bet there's a couple of parts we're going to have to cut out, but I swear this is going to be another episode that is exactly 1 hour and 2 minutes. Episode 1 and 3 were both 1 hour and 2 minutes. It's kind of funny.
Hopefully it's an hour. There is a part that we cut out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that should be it for today.
So what are you looking forward to in the next 2 weeks?
Obviously March Madness again.
Yep.
Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball spring training's happening.
Yep.
But I'm pretty sure it's either gonna be next month or at the end of March.
All right. Wait, I have a quick question. So which sport is better in your opinion, baseball or basketball? Because you talked
Basketball.
about both.
Basketball is so much better than baseball.
Cool.
I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but baseball, there's times where I can't watch a full baseball game. It just gets so boring and it's so dragged out.
Yeah, baseball's more boring than basketball to me. It's like basketball.
Yeah, basketball is so fast paced and like with baseball you have to line up.
Yep.
That's why they implemented the pitch timers. That you have to pitch pitch at a certain amount of time.
How long has that been a thing? I have no idea.
It's been going on for a couple years.
Oh, so that's a recent addition.
Yeah, and it was because the whole reason why is because some games were lasting 4, like normal 9-inning games lasting around 4 hours.
Man.
And I remember one time, I think we were in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Me and my dad, and we got these club tickets from this guy off the street. And it was the weather. The sun was beaming down on us. I got so sunburnt, and we sat there for another 3 hours just in that sun.
Man.
And it sucked, man.
Sure.
But I mean, it was a good game. It's just that
it's
really wish it wasn't that long.
Yeah. But that's what I like about basketball. Plus, basketball's indoors, so you get to
obviously
have a roof over your head, and you get to go at nighttime.
Underrated sport, hockey. I love hockey.
That is true.
I love watching hockey.
We don't have a TV, so I've almost never been able to actually watch TV games.
Oh.
So I've never seen a real hockey game in my life.
Back before COVID, me and my dad got into. We got into hockey around 2019.
All right.
And because there's the Nashville Predators.
Yeah.
And we went to a game, and my first game, I loved it. I loved it so much. The whole crowd, the whole chants.
Yeah.
There's a chant after somebody scores. And I was like, "Hey, you suck. It's all your fault." They scream at the goalie. I love it so much. And we went to a couple more, and then we went to a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Game 7.
Oh, man.
Versus the Winnipeg Jets. And, oh my god, we lost. And it was so heartbreaking. Man. We got our little towels and everything that we were tossing around. I love that's my favorite, atmosphere sports-wise. I love watching basketball, but, the crowd for hockey games are just so, it's unmatched.
I'm curious if soccer is similar to that, because...
Oh, yeah, no, soccer has the same chance.
Yeah. I'd say I've been to both basketball games, football games, and baseball games. I haven't been to hockey, an actual live hockey or soccer game, but...
You should go to a hockey game. I highly recommend it.
Yeah. So I have to say, soccer is my favorite sport to watch on TV.
Really?
Yeah, I watched the entire 2014 World Cup, and that
I did too. I got a shirt as well.
And that was the first time I've ever watched soccer on TV. Because we would always go to this specific restaurant to watch all the games, and I remember I was going for Brazil just because they were the first team I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
I remember I was actually in New York when I saw the first game. It was Brazil versus Croatia, and I was excited to see that, and then since then I just got hooked.
Speaking about Croatia, 2018, them winning.
Oh yeah,
Man, I watched that entirety, and I forgot the guy. I forgot the guy's name. Like Croatia's team captain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, he was so good.
I thought,
but I remember. Oh my bad. I remember 2014. I was at this place called Go USA. And I remember watching Germany on the TV during the final. I think wasn't it Germany and Argentina?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was Germany and Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
That sucked for Messi though.
My least favorite game of the 2014 World Cup was the Germany-Brazil. That hurt because I was going for Brazil. 7-1.
Yeah.
That was
man.
Yeah.
That sucked.
Anyways, man, that was quite a lot. I have a couple things I'm looking forward to in the next
what are you looking forward to, man?
I'm looking forward to being done with my 200 push-ups every day.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna be like a couple of days away from that because I'm about halfway done now. So in the next,
I was gonna say, how many days is it, and what day are you on?
Day 14. I'm not sure. I check every night. I think I was on day 11 a couple of days ago. So I'm either on day like 13 or day 14. So I'm gonna be probably day 28 or 27 by the next time we record, which is gonna be pretty nice. So I'm gonna only have a few days left.
Have you done yours today?
Not yet. I almost always do it like late at night, like before I go.
Oh man.
I have like a very strict bedtime routine, so I always work out, and then I go shower, and then it's like I have a big thing that I do, so it helps me sleep easier.
Okay.
And it really helps, so I always do that beforehand, and that I'm excited for that. I think I'm still gonna keep doing them after, though. I'm just gonna make it every other day.
Oh yeah, no, space it out.
Yeah, and then I think the only other thing I'm excited for in the next 2 weeks is, well, not, I shouldn't say the only other thing, but like the main thing is I think Starship SN11 is gonna launch. SN10 did pretty cool. You can look that up if you want to. But other than that, guys, it is late. This is a long podcast, and we're gonna be signing out, I think.
Yep.
Is that all we wanted to say?
Yup.
Alrighty, man. Thanks for coming on. It's been so awesome to have you.
Hey, man, it's been so cool.
If you guys liked the episode, feel free to go to Spotify. Actually, please go to Spotify. Re-listen to the whole thing because it really helps out our statistics. And then give it a like there as well. No, I'm kidding. But thanks for listening. Actually, share this with your friends if there's anything you want to do, because that is the best way for us to grow. And
is by sharing.
Yep, sharing with your friends, and just stay tuned for the next one. It's really fun to make these, so it's really fun to see you guys enjoying them. So leave a like on the YouTube video. And with that, bye for now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.